I can't believe that after weeks and weeks of yellow pad analysis, this is what the scores look like. Ugh, I'm gonna find a new cheat tool. Welcome to Windy City Fantasy Football Week 14. This is it, folks. The last week before...
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
And whether your fantasy football team is like the Bears heading into the playoffs or the Falcons, not so much, looking ready for next year. This is our last week all together, and next week the 4 best teams will take off, and we will watch in wonder and see who will get to take the trophy home. We're hoping it doesn't have to leave the state of Minnesota, so hopefully Matt or Michaela can come home with it. So that's where we are. So let's get to the winners from last week. Sam won the battle, but maybe lost the war. More to come on that later. Jameson, Matt, Michaela, and Emily all won. But the real story this week are 2 amazing losses. The first of one being Austin. Austin scored 40 points. Total 40 points. Not one of his players scored over 10 points. In fact, the best was Matt Ryan at 7.6 points. That's sad. Sad. That is by far the lowest score we've ever had. So in the week where we were, looking at doing awards, here's yours for lowest score. Now, the second notable loss of the week, I'm not bitter. Not at all.
No.
But my season is so bad, I couldn't even win a tiebreaker. That's right, folks. I lost in a tie. Super fun. So that'll be something we need to discuss next year at the very least. We need to at least examine our tiebreaker rules.
I don't think they're rules that we can set.
Whatever, I'm sure it is. Anyway, I would like to at least examine this because, Austin, I think you and I really do deserve a special award because you lost in, epic fashion, as did I. You had no points. I lost in a tie. This is crap. So I think the bigger story of the week were the 2 losers than the 5 winners. Oh, is that my prize? Oh, thank you. Much like the Falcons, we stink.
You got one too, Austin.
It's a pig. Yes. Here you go. Through the camera. There you go. So that was the story of last week. We're going to check up on our first round picks. Remember we talked about this as the year went on. We were going to check up on them. So I went back and these are the first round picks in the order that they were done in. And I think there was there's 2 of them that are for sure hard to judge, I thought. So first round was Craig picked Le'Veon Bell. Obviously, that's thumbs down. Bad situation there. Jameson picked David Johnson second. Thumbs down. I think the guy's pretty much past his prime.
Well, that team's no good.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help.
No. Third pick, Michaela took Todd Gurley. And I am jealous because the year that I picked Todd Gurley and named my team Fight Like a Gurley, he sucked. Last year for Matt, this year for Michaela, he's done awesome. He's thumbs up. Same with Sue, Saquon Barkley, thumbs up. Matt took Zeke Elliott, and that one was kind of iffy to start, but now definitely thumbs up. I think the first time we did this, it was just thumbs. Now it's definitely trending up. Emily took Antonio Brown. He was another one that's just kind of been okay. I know they said for a while the Wi-Fi wasn't connected between, that's what they called it, between Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown. The Wi-Fi wasn't there, but it's been there now, but it's up and down. Julio Jones. Austin, I apologize on behalf of the Falcons because that's not your fault. They suck right now. So that's fun.
If you have Rulio Connection 3.0 next year, somebody's going to have to slap you.
You will have gone to the well one too many times. Sam had drafted 8th, and he got OBJ. Once again, it's kind of just okay because, again, the Giants suck. And since they have Saquon Barkley, they haven't needed to throw the ball as much. However, I did hear a case on ESPN the other day that, believe it or not, Odell Beckham is the only Giants quarterback that has thrown 2 over 40-yard touchdown passes this season. True story. So, maybe he's got that going for him. I drafted Kamara 9th, and he started out really, really good, and then now he's kind of fizzled off a little bit, but I still gave him a thumbs up because for the most part, he was pretty much money all year long. And lastly, Lindsay drafted Kareem Hunt 10th, and that's another one I find hard because he did a lot of good for her, but it has come out that he is apparently not such a good person, so I didn't know how to do that pick, so we're just going to do thumbs with him as well, because, I don't know how that one went. So, there was definitely some good picks, definitely some bad picks, and then a few okay. So, I just kind of felt like that was fun to look back at, since we talk about that all the time. Oh, my first round pick. It looks like about 3 or 4 of us did really good, 3 or 4 of us did not so good, or just okay. Following that up, I did kind of just do a little research on ESPN. So statistically, right now, position rank, the number 1 quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, Jameson's team. The top 2 running backs are Gurley and Barkley. So Michaela and Sue. The top 2 wide receivers are Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. I was surprised at that. I looked at all of the good wide receivers before I really found that one. The number 1 tight end is Travis Kelce. The number 1 defense, bear down. And the number 1 kicker is Kai Fairborn for the Texans. So just kind of an interesting thing on that. I mean, Matt. Nobody drafted the Bears defense. You picked him up as soon as you heard about Khalil Mack coming. But, it just kind of relates to what we were just saying about first round picks. I mean, you can draft all you want really well, and then, you could be Craig and end up with Le'Veon Bell, or, not draft a good defense and one just kind of falls in your lap. So, kind of crazy how the season changes. So that was just a little recap on how everyone's picks are doing, to put everything in a little perspective. For the last time, I guess, this season, we're still going to do one the next 2 weeks, but it won't be as grand because we're only going to be talking about 4 teams. So for the last time, my booms, busts, and big outs. It was another week of really good running backs. Christian McCaffrey, Tariq Cohen, Todd Gurley, Phillip Lindsay, Travis Kelce, tight end, Jared Cook, tight end, Patrick Mahomes, of course, Antonio Brown, Jameis Winston had a good week. And on my boom list came up, we just talked about him, the kicker for the Texans, because apparently he had like a gangbuster week last week. So in ESPN's list, he came up on there, which was kind of surprising because he's a kicker. The bus, Julio Jones, we already talked about that one. There was a bad quarterback week. Luck, Breeze, Goff, and Matt Ryan all had not so good weeks. David Johnson, another one I feel like we already talked about. Gronkowski didn't have a good week. I guess Tyreek Hill didn't have a good week last week. He's your player. No, he's Sam's. Just kidding. You have Kelsey. I know that. Marlon Mack didn't have a good week. Trey Burton and Sony Michel. Some big outs. Kind of what I was referring to earlier. Sam may have won the battle and lost the war because OBJ and James Conner are out for sure this week. And if they're not ready to go for next week, there's, some of your big money makers right there. So, that could be where everything changes. Some people out. I know Graham Gano is out for the week, but I think all the rest of these are out for the year. Emmanuel Sanders tore his ACL. Kelvin Benjamin got dropped by the Buffalo Bills right after a year after they traded for him. AJ Green broke his toe. Greg Olsen had something with his foot, fasciitis, something or other. Matt Breida, the running back for the 49ers. Colt McCoy broke his leg to join Alex Smith. So, who's their third string quarterback, Matt?
Mark Sanchez.
Ouch. Any chance that team had of a playoff run? Not looking so good.
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs.
And then Marshawn Lynch. So now out for the season. So some actual big outs this week, but also just some big injuries to kind of watch with playoffs starting next week. So we'll see how all of that pans out. So current standings. Samuel is in first place. He has 1,611.9 points. Sue is in second with 1,287.8 points. No, that's not a mistype. Sadly, yeah, that's how much of a point difference there is between all of us. Matt has 1,365.9. And Michaela is currently in fourth place with 1,352.4. So, this week, Jameson needs Michaela to lose or score 123.4 points more than Michaela to make the playoffs. I did the math. So it's possible. It is possible. Michaela could score 40 points like Austin or even 40 like Austin.
2 points.
And Jameson has a 160 point week like Sam did earlier in the season. And they both win and Jameson still makes it. It's possible. Highly unlikely. It's more likely that she'll lose. But they could both win. Well, I'm just saying, they could both win and Jameson score 123.4 points more than her. Yeah. So that's how everything is looking for next week, unless there are any crazy changes. The Thursday game has already been played, and basically all we can say is now we see how far the Jaguars have fallen. It was ugly.
Not good.
It was ugly, and this was the team that really was I mean, they were in the AFC Championship game last year, and they really were not that far from possibly, kicking the Eagles around in the Super Bowl. So, yeah, definitely the Super Bowl, or not Super Bowl hangover, but, the slump, the fall off. So what's going on Sunday night? Anything anyone would want to watch or know about?
The Bears play the Rams.
Is that it? Is that how it goes?
According to your sheet, yes.
Oh, okay. I love LA.
Okay.
Not really. Trying to think of a song there, but so yeah, so I guess they're traveling out there, so right? The game's in Los Angeles or Chicago?
Game's in Chicago.
Oh, so you can hope that it freezes. Although Jared Goff might be able to play in the cold. No, he's from California. I'll stop talking about it now, I guess. Just hopefully bear down.
Bear down, Chicago Bears. Every moon in the paradise. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Every moon in the
And last but not least, Monday night is the Vikings at Seattle. So hopefully, if the Bears can't pull it out on Sunday, hopefully the Seahawks can pull it out for you guys and also make the Vikings lose. So, got 2 interesting night games. That's what I'm going for there. So the matchups for the final week. Are Jen versus Craig. I'm gonna get another win, you guys. I'm going for it. I can do it. I can do it. No stupid ties. Jameson versus Sam. So Jameson needs to win or score more than Michaela. And we would just love to knock Sam down another level. I don't know. He has so many more points than everybody else. So I just am interested to see how it goes. Sorry. But as we also already discussed, some of Sam's team is maybe on the outs. So maybe they just need a week to get healthy. Sue versus Matt. It's looking like you two are going to play each other 2 weeks in a row. So we'll see how that goes. Who's going to win round 1? Maybe again, somebody will win the battle and not the war. We'll find out. Austin versus Michaela. Again, Michaela does need to win if Jameson wins. Because if Michaela loses and Jameson wins, Jameson makes the playoffs because they're tied. Even though Michaela has over 100 more points than he does. And lastly, another pride, Emily versus Lindsay, playing for the sister championship. So, 2 pride games and 3 games for all the marbles. So, it's been a good fantasy football season overall. We've had some records. For sure, Samuel had the highest points ever scored, 168.2. Our league has still yet to have a trade. We talked about one, but no one has actually ever done a trade. Things we've discussed are Jameson wants to know about the waiver wire order. Austin wants to know about garbage time points because he lost a game because of a garbage time touchdown. And I think we really need to review or at least clarify the tiebreaker policy. So that's just a little bit of things to kind of wrap up the year, things we've talked about that we should, talk about some more, I guess.
We don't really need to discuss a tiebreaker scenario if you
just win.
If you just win.
If you just win, it's helpful. So, it's been a good season for some, and for the rest of us, well, there's always next year. So, from us to you, that's all, folks.